Oh my goodness. That is a good score. Wow. 50 on him. 50. And he did not feel like 38. Oh, I did it. I got my spaghetti. Ugh. Now I've finished on the menu. That is amazing. Oh. Ooh, okay, I'm up there. Ugh. That is stressful. And yes, I did my first 51920 with that little critter in the room. Oh. I loved this game. That was really annoying at some points. Like, the main gripe I have with this game is honestly just how sensitive the mask and camera hovers are. It's not exactly as in they're too sensitive or they're too fast or whatever. It's just how much they spread at the bottom of the screen, and it, like, both bars, pretty much when you go from the middle, the mask covers the entire bottom left side, camera covers the entire bottom right. That doesn't sound that bad, but with how fast you have to go, you're often going to flick into the mask majority of the time when you're going out of the camera, or flick into the camera going out of the mask, trying to move up or around. I feel like it could have been a bit more beneficial if it was just on the bar, or at least like partially near the bottom, not like the entire bottom of the screen, because they're quite high up. And it's not that bad when you think about it, but in sticky situations, doing that can really mess it up. It can really mess up your thought process, because what you want to do and what you're thinking in your head, that's what I'm going to do, and you do the wrong thing, and it's just, uh-oh. And then it's all ruined, because then you start panicking. And then you're gone. Ugh. Oh, I thought that wasn't going to be as bad. How much easier it actually would have been, obviously, without the thing in the room. I think with that, I have 100% of the game. Where is it? There you go. 100% completion. Every single trophy. The one bronze trophy. Every single silver trophy, every single gold trophy, and all 3 platinum trophies. The thing is, I remember dropping this game, like, when I first played it, like, nearly 3 years ago now. That's how fast time flies. That was when I was just getting sort of back into FNaF as a whole. So, you know how that you can tell how that went, especially with someone who was not as accustomed to games like these and playing them fully. For a game like this, it is very difficult for a casual player to beat it. Very, very difficult. It's fairly difficult to figure out. And I was playing on the release version, so that's probably part of what made it so confusing, especially when it threw. I don't know if it was the entire cast, but it's just about the entire cast by night 3. Like, that makes it really confusing. And especially, like, again, with me who wasn't quite there yet, in terms of the skill you have to hone for some of these games, I gave up on night 4. I could not do night 4. because just now recently I've been able to overcome Night 5, and Night 4 took me 2 tries. This game is just ruthless. But that's what makes me love it. It's like, part of me will say it's too difficult for average, but the other part of me says that it's really good with the difficulty. I'm on a fence with this, because it's really well designed. Everything about this game is great. I'm surprised at the fact that this was 7 years in the making, from what I know, and the fact that it was pretty much one guy that made this whole thing. It's very impressive, and how it started way back then, just pretty much at the point, like the beginning of the fan game scene, makes it even crazier that we get it now. We were probably better off getting it now. Getting it at the time, the modern point. I don't really know how to put it. I'm glad I came back to this. I was very worried about coming back to this game whenever I thought of it, because part of me thought it was going to be really difficult for me to do, especially when it comes to the typing. That's one thing with a lot of the games I don't like. Typing skill is often very subjective from person to person, so it really shapes the experience quite a bit, especially when this game relies a lot on typing. Particularly Night 6, but in general, having to type that randomized code, and if you prefer it, typing the commands in just for certain things. I did use the command for the vent at the start as a strategy when I came back to this. I did get used to the other one, but it works. Especially if you're much faster typer than I am, I'm sure it works great. Night 6 is definitely something. A lot of people don't like it. I'd say, in terms of presentation and its feel, it's really good. It's a very unique Night 6, and it still has the base gameplay that's sitting there. It's unique without changing pretty much anything, other than just adding a whole layer and making the night task-based, kind of. You can win, but the game says you didn't. And how you win is it's obviously going through the headache that is the power manager. It was fun for me when I got my head around it. It's definitely really difficult to get your head around it, though. I honestly just found it very confusing to understand at the start. Like, I knew the idea when I saw a video of it. I knew the idea you wanted to get all the elevators running. For me, it was a little unclear that the characters would actually get stopped, because that's often something I'd honestly think that's way too easy. That's almost too easy. You can't just cut off characters. Where's the fun in that? But no, you're allowed to do it, and it was. And I understand the tip now that mentioned usually you have to stop some opponents for good. It just didn't come across that way for me. I just thought, that sounds too easy. Why would they let you do that? Especially when you can let these two in and basically just have to deal with these four. But even then, that's still fairly difficult. Especially when you're trying to get off the typing and then out of the camera and then with your mask or at the door. It's a lot of jumping back and forth. But even then, this game barely has, like, proper issues. I think the main issue for a lot of people is that how just subjective it is from person to person, not just because of typing. The difficulty really makes it good or bad from person to person, and if you don't care about how hard it is, and if you can't beat the game, then sure. But no, this game is great. It's I don't know. I might not know much about SCP, but even then, you don't really. You can enjoy this from two different communities, from one or the other. That depends on if you can beat it. But just all of these are great. The documentation of every single one, mostly explaining the mechanics in a vague manner, professionally written in these documents. Cutscenes are great, and these are my stats. 70 deaths. And this took a lot of attempts, if you just can read that number there. And like this as well, this is crazy to see. It didn't look too bad even then. But goodness me, how much it improved. And you can even see this, like... That's just, yeah, it's kind of crazy to see how far this game actually came. It's a very interesting look into the development of when you're looking at these. Because of how much better it looks, oh my goodness. This is pretty cool as well. I don't really know how else to put, like, any other things to say, it's just... If you're up for this game and trying to beat it, then... I'd say it's pretty enjoyable. Can't catch it. Hey! But no, this game is wonderful. Very few gripes I have with it, but even then that's personal gripes. A lot of the stuff here is just personal gripes. For a game like this, that's pretty good. Because it's better than having objective gripes with the game. Because I've only played a few games where a lot of people would agree that... Sometimes you universally agree with everyone just because... It's all the same thought, but it's a lot of different things. A lot of different reasons why people don't like the game, which... I think that makes it better. Just because there's no, there's no objective issue. There's a few different things for a few different people. That's fine. I still think this game is great. And even then, the fact you're allowed to theoretically beat the max with this guy in there, in the room. I think that is also a unique little thing. Whether or not they were aware of the challenge, who knows. But I'm happy with this spot. I'm not trying anything else because I don't care. I could barely handle that as is. I don't want to know what this score at the top had. Ugh. But yeah, just really good. I don't know what else to say. I'm just glad I came back to it because I was missing out on such an experience. And actually, one thing I'll mention, this music as well. One of my favorite soundtracks. It's really good for what it is. Even this menu, and the fact that it changes to 3 different variations across 3 different menus. All fitting that vibe perfectly. And the night themes as well. They're very, like, they're very, very quiet. In general. They're not too easy to hear. At least when you have the music volume bumped up, which I don't think I do. But it adds to it a lot. Like, every single night, despite having the same base gameplay, despite, like, by night 3, you're pretty much dealing with everyone, essentially. There's little to no difference. Little to no difference. There is a difference. But you get what I mean. like even then the vibe for each track fits very well, and it makes every track makes every night feel all the more tense. And just the vibe of every night just perfectly shows. I don't know how to put it, like it just works. That's the best way I can put it. Oh, shut up, I have nothing else to talk about. Otherwise I'll repeat myself again. We got our little spaghetti thing. Amazing reward. I'd recommend doing the max for just for this thing. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the very chaotic 820 mode, along with the even more chaotic challenge of that thing being in the room. They call them spaghetti already, but this is truly spaghetti. Even though it's golden, it's even better. The valuable spaghetti. But just, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the chaotic nature of this game. And I wish you all the best. Bid farewell.